Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon. This is a really interesting comic book, but it's part one of five, and if anything, you can't say it's boring. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. I think the first name will put you in a complete sense of understanding of where I'm going with this, and we'll talk about everybody who made this comic book. Let's go. So Larry Hama is the writer, and David Wachter is the artist. I'd never heard of this man before. He does great art though. Niraj Menon on colors and VC's Travis Lanham on letters. Billy Tan and Monica Mu doing the cover art, and yeah, from there a bunch of variant covers. Anthony Gambino doing that production design, baby. So this is a rushed comic book, but it's also very much in Larry Hama's art style. The man literally just like you got Iron Fist. He's there in the beginning, and he's in the room with Pei and the heck isn't it? The Dragon of Kunlun. What the hell's that little guy's name again? Anyway, I do remember he was killed and he came back and he's like, rawr, he's a little baby and he's got to grow up again. It's gonna take forever for him to grow up again. Anyway, and Pei is, I think you're supposed to pronounce Pei, Pei as pie. I'm gonna go with Pei. I'm gonna go with Pei until I actually learn my Mandarin. But for now, and there's this other guy. What's his name? Foosh? Foo? What the heck is it? Foo, right? Fooh. The dude's name is Foo. Bruh. I say foo all the time, and I'm talking about a fool. So this is gonna be really weird for me to talk about like a guy named Foo who looks like one of the gnomes from World of Warcraft. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, and he actually pulls out a blunderbuss at one point, like the dwarves from World of Warcraft, also. And he gets mad when they call him a dwarf. I'm like, bruh, you got nothing to say about this at this point. By the time that you get to to the second one, page one doesn't count, but one, two, three, four. By the time you get to the fourth and fifth page of this comic book, you are knee deep in action with like undead people running around. Here, let's just go into this. The standard of a Larry Hama comic book is, which is why he was perfect for GI Joe, was yeah. Here's a couple characters. We'll get to know a little bit about them all, but there are a million characters, and he's just gonna start throwing them at you. You've got a little bit of story, which is just basically set up for the action. Then you've got the action. The action will lead into a little bit of hi, how are you, which will just lead into even more action, which will leave you with to be continued with more action, in the next book and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if the next book jumped at, quote me now, praise me later. I wouldn't be surprised at all if issue number two started in the middle of a huge fight. You know what I'm saying? This is the art on this is really good. I really enjoy the art. I mean, you've got just this fifth and sixth page, as I was talking about. You've got incredible background action going. You got the action itself right here. The cinematography, there's a great camera scene where you feel like the looming effects of everything weighing down on this battle that's going on. You got very detailed art of if it's to draw terror, you're gonna be freaking terrorized. If it's to be beauty and like the goddess of love and divinity of heaven and things like that, end of the book, you're going to see and feel that when you're reading it. When you get to an action scene with him, doing something amazing, you're gonna see like, dude, he's ripping people apart. I mean, damn. While at the same time, so he'll Larry Hama can choreograph something amazing, and clearly, Wachter, however you pronounce his name, great art, and I apologize for butchering your name, brother. Um, Hama himself, his dialogue just hasn't ever improved. It's never once improved. I mean, there's literally this part on here where it's pretty much right in the beginning. It was actually on the page that I was talking about. What are these guys? The three horsemen of the apocalypse? Well, there were five horsemen, or excuse me, four horsemen of the apocalypse, and the horses are different colors and whatnot, and they represent different things. And I don't know why you would think that these are the three horsemen of the apocalypse. But why would it? Just because they're people on horses? So if I'm out with three of my buddies, you would think that we're the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Is that what you're saying? I mean, you didn't say like the four horsemen of the NWA. You just of the wow, wow, inherently bad dialogue. But that's not what Hama is known for that. But that's not the reason why Hama is so famous for his particular style of putting together a comic book. This is a guy who he's not going to clown around. Every single thing that he does is to every panel that he puts together is something that's only going to set up the next 4 or 5 panels. And so when you get 4 or 5 panels in, think about all the panels where he set up future panels. That's one of his strengths. Hama doesn't usually waste time with a lot of dialogue and things like that. That said, he's one of the old school peeps. I mean, when I say old school, this is one of the guys who worked with Stan Lee. This is one of the guys who worked under Shooter. You know what I'm saying? And got along with him, apparently. This is one of the guys who just, like, he's been there, he's done that. He don't need you, you need him. You know what I'm saying? And if he's going to come by and he's going to do something, he's going to do it his way. And it's not even a dare to try and stop him. No, no, no. Everybody knows better. He will crush you. Hama knows how to do. He's got it. So when I say that he's one of those old school guys, he knows how to do. What's this thing that he does? He knows his vocabulary. He's not somebody who has to look things up in a dictionary or something like that. I need. Give me a second. Give me a second, really quick. Obstreperous. That's what. Learn how to pronounce obstreperous. This is a noisy and difficult to control, bro. I am a former university English professor. I've been teaching English since 2011. You know what I'm saying? Technically 2009, 2008, 2009, if you count a couple of years of substituting, but sometimes it was teaching math and history, and I think I taught a gym class once. God, I hated that. Kids are weak. Anyway, so the idea is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knows my English. I've never heard that word before. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy, like, he knows his words. He knows his language. He knows his art. He knows his craft. And he knows himself. He knew he was going to do this book long before. When they said, hey, you want to do an Iron Fist book? He's like, I'll be happy to do an Iron Fist book. Well, you don't know exactly what we want. Tell me what you want afterwards. First, let's sign the contract. You're going to do this. I'll give you what you want, but I'm going to do it in my own way. Don't try and get my way. I will crush you. Like, Hama is not the guy who's going to do something where you're going to be like, oh my God, this was an amazing story. This was out of control. What's the thing that he's known for the most, right? The silent issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's known for the silent issue where when you're the writer, that's not supposed to be a good thing, right? But the silent issue was proof of what I'm saying when I say that Hama has the ability to more than just write a bink. He is a choreographer. This is the guy who's going to take whatever scene, whatever book, whatever story. This guy, do you know how good this guy would be as a director in movies? Think about it. He knows how to work a scene. He knows how to get into different parts. He's not going to waste his time with, or more specifically, he's not going to waste your time and my time with, here's this segue into boom, 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 boom. Every single thing that he did made sense. There was no skipping scenes. If anything, it was skipping travel time. And there wasn't going to be any useful dialogue in between that he felt was pertinent for us to understand. It would have just been wasteful stuff. When Larry says, I'm going to write 5 issues, it's going to be 5 issues. And it's going to be great. It's not going to be, yeah, I see you had to rush this, so this should have been like 8 issues, at least 6 issues, but you had to stuff it into 5. No, that's not going to happen. And if you only got 2 or 3 issues worth of a story being told, and it's like, this could have ended, this could have been shorter, that's not going to happen either with Hama. The guy is like, he's too good. Understand what I'm saying when I say this. He's too good. He's going to make his story. It's all going to be completely linear. It's going to make sense. It's going to seem so basic, but all the things that would be the fluffy stuff, those are those are not even considered. It's not even about them being removed. There is no editing floor. There is no chopping room floor of the editing room in Hama's studio. He knows from the beginning exactly what he's going to put down, and he's going to do it. And words are mostly just things that are in the way for the guy. Hama is great at doing these stories where it will flow like a machine. Bip, 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 bip. You can recount every single scene that happened. Think about it. With all the crazy stuff that happened in this comic book, if you read this comic book, tell me you can't recite exactly what happened in this comic book. Don't worry about the words, right? He doesn't care. You shouldn't care. Actually think about what happened in this comic book from beginning all the way through to the end. You know. Why? Because it's exactly the way that he meant for it to be, and it's perfect in that regard. The words aren't the most important thing. He's writing things so that his superstar freaking artist can show off his superstar artist stuff. And you're going to read the book and you're going to be like, wow, there's a story here. And you're not going to be razzle dazzled with any cool wordogram, anagrams, whatever the heck. You know what I'm saying? He's going to just put down this incredible story. Guys, this is one of the things that you have to celebrate about the craft of Larry Hama. I saw this book was going to be coming out. I knew that he was going to be doing this. I knew this wasn't going to be something that's like, holy crap. But I knew that I was going to read it. It was going to be easy to understand. It's going to go fast because there is not going to be any dancing around nonsense. Bruh. Taskmaster is in this. He's not clowning around. Not Lady Deadpool. Lady Bullseye is in this. There is no crapping around. You know what I'm saying? This was hard hitting. This is like using a nail gun as opposed to tap 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 with a hammer. Boom, next, boom, next, boom, next. Your shingles are done. Anyway, guys, I'm done also. Like the video, watch an ad, and make sure that you go back and check out the silent issue if you haven't, because it is one of the masterpieces in craftsmanship of comic books, and it shows a level of skill. It shows you that words aren't important if you know how to put together a comic book, right? That's G.I. Joe, was it issue number 17, 18, something like that? I forget which one it was, but it's something along those lines, the original run. Anyway, guys, I'm out. So are you. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.